Hi, it's the weekend, and I'm very fast and furiously pulling in your Antigone papers. So good job on getting those in so far. Still looking for a few more. So I am spending the weekend working on those papers. I hope to get them read and back to you within 10 days, 2 weeks, right? That's my goal. In the meantime, we're moving on to a new section. Please make sure that you move into your content folders, go into week, is it 5 already? Yeah, I think it is. Holy cow. So week 5, we're working, no, 4, sorry. Yeah, week 4, sorry. I'm moving ahead. Week 4 and 5 deal with Rome. So we'll be looking at a couple of things there. We'll be looking at satire as a literary genre. So you'll have a chance to look at Juvenal's satire. Juvenal, who was the inspiration for the title of this course. And you'll also have a chance to look at some modern attempts at satire. So please take a look. As you know, with these Newman Studies core courses, we're trying to be interdisciplinary. So we've looked at theater. Now we're moving on to a different form of literature that identifies the city, that relates to the city, describing it, discussing it, dealing with life in general. So I hope you enjoy that section. The next part of the Roman section, or the Roman study, does indeed relate to the Colosseum and gladiators. Those of you who like that topic will have an opportunity to choose gladiators as one of your writing assignments. The other thing that's going on this week, and I wanted to make sure we touched base on, is the idea that we do have a final project in this class. And I have purposely tried to break that final project into several pieces so that you can get going on it sooner rather than later. I am hopeful that this will mean that when that end of the semester comes along and all of your other classes are crunching on you, that you will be on your way, if not even finished, with this final project. The final project is defined in your projects folder under content. And we talked about it in the syllabus video, but just a quick reminder, the idea of this project is to get you to look at a topic in some significant depth, to look at a topic that relates to the course we're doing, right? So it relates to the idea of the city, the history of the city, the importance or the use of civic space, public space for different venues that relate to the arts, entertainment, and that also relate to the identity of the community. Many of you worked on the Keeper of the Plains, for example, for Wichita. That indeed is an iconic, identifying image of the city of Wichita. Some will find the Colosseum at Rome that way. Some will find the theater at Athens to be that iconic feature of city living. Some of you who are theater majors will say, hey, I want to look at the role of the theater and the city beyond Athens. I want to look at it through time. Perfect. Let's go. The first part of your project, is that you need to identify it. And so I've called this in your projects folder, in the final project folder, I've called this Explore, and I'm going to read from that presentation, from that prompt. So I want you to explore a current example of city-supported arts and/or entertainment that helps to define the identity or culture of that city. So if you were thinking of Paris, it might be the Eiffel Tower, and you'll want to do a little history and background of that. How does that image, iconic, how does that engineering and that structure represent Paris, right? If you are thinking more in a healthful fashion or an activity fashion, and a lot of us in this class are nursing majors, thank you, you might be thinking about parks, you might be thinking about jogging paths, biking paths. What are some of the issues around a city developing those, maintaining those, funding those, and what does that mean for the city? Some of you might go a completely different route. Some of you I know are political science majors. Some of you are living in Kansas where public funding is becoming a really big deal, a really hot button topic in politics. Maybe you think that the current processes by which we fund, by which we use our economic resources to fund public space in such a way ought to be revisited. We have presentations coming down the pike from economists who question whether or not the New Orleans Superdome, for example, ought to be funded publicly. So there are lots of other ways to do this. So I'm not trying to get you to only look at issues that are funded publicly in order to support that they ought to be funded publicly. Please also think about uh, whether you think Cowtown ought to continue to be funded publicly by Wichita, whether you think, oh my goodness, subsidies ought to be offered to the owners of the Dallas Cowboys in order to facilitate Cowboy Stadium in Dallas, Madison Square Garden in New York. I'm trying to think of other places. Major public museums. Maybe you think those are some things that may or may not be supported by public tax dollars, or there ought to be a different way to do that. So that's my trying to play both sides of the political football here, or the political issue here. So by February 11th, which is coming up, that is just next Wednesday, you need to explore, identify a current example of city-supported arts and or entertainment, or an issue associated with city-supported arts and entertainment that help us understand the city that is related to this issue. This can go from a range of examples, and these are the examples I've given you in your presentation, in your handout. Art installations at a museum or a public park, professional baseball teams. Consider concerts, public gardens, bike paths, museums, performances, festivals. Again, the River Festival, often an issue of controversy in Wichita. Do some research. Attend the event or venue if possible. Any city will do. Doesn't have to be your hometown. It doesn't have to be Wichita. Some of you are studying abroad right now. It can be wherever you are or someplace you hope to go, right? You may, if you wish, use the Out and About project that you've already done. We're going to have a project coming up on graffiti. You may use that project and build upon it, right? So anything that you're already working on, you may build upon it. In fact, I'm hoping that you will. I'm hoping that you'll take some of the work you're doing and start to integrate it into this final project. So for coming up this week, the first thing you have to do is declare a topic. Find one. Once you find a topic, then you must identify three, count them, three of the goals for this course, three of the goals for the creative spirit in your syllabus that you hope to connect to your project. You don't have to do the analysis just yet, but explore your possibilities, find your topic, identify three of the goals that you think this topic might help you explore. And that's all you have to do. Please post it at your groups at Blackboard. Find your group, post it there. I'll set up a discussion board for that at Blackboard. And please then look at each other's work as you have been doing. Comment on it. Give people some suggestions. Give them some support there, because that's the hope of that as well. The next step in this is due February 25th. So if you want to work ahead, please do. February 25th, I'm calling this Follow the Money. Here's where you're going to do some economic research. How much does this venue you've chosen cost? What did it cost to put it up? What does it cost to maintain? How is this being funded? Is it funded totally by public dollars? Is there a mix of public and private? Right? Whatever you do when you start your project, if you discover that it is not funded by public money, sorry, we're moving on. You're going to have to reboot. You're going to have to think of something else. That's okay. That's part of the process. So part two is doing the research, finding the information you need to demonstrate that this is indeed a publicly funded venue, a publicly funded issue. So those are the two things coming up in February for that final project. There's certainly more. But at this stage, what I want you to do by Wednesday, February 11th, post to your groups in the final project folder, right, that I'll create, your Explore. What are you going to do? What are the three goals of the course you hope to connect to it? And please do so by February 11th. If you have any questions, as always, please email, please call. Again, I'm going to be grading Antigone papers. Can't wait to see what you did there. And I'm looking forward to seeing these as well. So get going on week 4 content. That's all about Rome. Get going on your final project, just the first step. Get it in on time, please. Don't lose points just because it's late. Give me something on time. Let me get going on that. Let me start giving you some comments, and your colleagues start giving you some comments on your topic. All right? Okay, good luck. Have a great weekend. The weather's gorgeous, and we will talk again. Thank you.